The best thing on her. I don't know why you can put me down. Shit, I am the shit.
This ain't no regular thing. I came for the ring, you know what I mean. I shoot my shot and it's clean. This for my city, yeah, this for my team. If you talking and talking me nice, I play with all of my life. You see my name in the lights, better get right, I'm champion. The game is in trouble, I've been in my depth for the piece of the puzzle, I got it for real. Still keep me going, I wake up and hustle, you won't see me buckle, I've been in the field. Man of the town, you been in your fields, I'm adjusting this crown. Call me your majesty, either that or your tragedy, we shutting everything down. I've been high like somebody put a candle on them. Off top, I don't really stand opponents, this mine, the moment is. Run out and start a bunch of pandemonium. More game, I got some, the skill is bar one, y'all done, the game in the coffin. Referee scream recipes, and think twice if you next to me, it's West. This ain't no regular thing, I came for the ring, you know what I mean. I shoot my shot and it's clean, this for my city, yeah, this for my team. If you talking and talk to me nice, I play with all of my life. You see my name in the lights, better get right, I'm champion. It's our repetition, I'm stacking these trophies, I'm good with addition. I spit like a pastor, I give you the vision. Up early morning, enough for the sleeping. My life is a dream, but you wishing you lived it. Haters get livid, my pocket's Pacific, that's deep if you get it. So Tempur-Pedic, I sleep on the critics. Don't feel like competing, I'm hearing these crickets. Whoa, let me switch the flow, a new bounce. Coming to the den with a lion, I'm gon' pounce. Know I've been a king for a while, got a ring and a crown, that's the bling with the blow. What the team is about, champions. You can tell by the ambience of this sound. Referee scream rest in peace, and think twice if you never see me, just no doubt. This ain't no regular thing, I came for the ring, you know what I mean. If you talking and talk to me nice, I play with all of my life. You see my name in the lights, better get right. This ain't no regular thing, I came for the ring, you know what I mean. I shoot my shot and it's clean, this for my city, yeah, this for my team. If you talking and talk to me nice, I play with all of my life. You see my name in the lights, better get right, I'm champion.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, you tuned in to the one and only Big Hank Sports Review. Basketball, football, breaking it down for you. Now vibe with me.
Like, comment, subscribe, oh yeah. Kick back, enjoy the ride.
Basketball, football, talking that truth. Sports review with Hank bringing the proof.
Big Hank Sports, like, comment, subscribe, say wow. Kick back, enjoy the ride.
Basketball, football, talking that truth. Sports review with Hank bringing the proof. Step on the court, feel the sneakers squeak. Hank call a play like a coach unique. Fast break vision, highlight reel. He breaking down the stats with that southern feel. On the field, end zone, crowd gon' roar. Touchdown energy, we want more. So if you want the game from a real point of view, better show love, like, comment, subscribe to.
Like, comment, subscribe, say what. Big Hank, keep the game alive.
Basketball, football, talking that truth. Sports review with Hank bringing the proof.
Big Hank Sports Review.
NBA nights, NFL days. Hank break it down in
so many ways.
From the block to the pocket, the hustle, the grind. Every story hit different when Hank defines. Laughs in the flow, but the game stay tight. He shine the spotlight where it feel just right. Sports and the culture, it's more than a vibe. It's the truth and the groove. Come on, subscribe.
Now don't wait, don't hesitate. Click that button, elevate. Join the tribe, be part of the crew. Sports review with Hank coming straight to you. Like, comment, subscribe, yeah. Keep the channel alive.
Basketball, football, talking that truth. Sports review with Hank bringing the proof.
Hank Sports Review.
Good Monday, good Monday, good Monday. We back in the building, guys. We are back in the building, talk sports. With that being said, do me a solid, hit that like button.
Push the goddamn button.
You goddamn right. Push that goddamn like button. Guys, I'm glad you're here. As you all know, football season playoff is over. Super Bowl champ has been crowned. We have moved on. So now we got to focus on college basketball as well as NBA. And more so college, because we all know NBA playoffs don't play until the late May and June. Shit like that. So right now, we really got to get ready for the college basketball season. With that being said, we got a lot going on. We got a lot to talk about. So, guys, as y'all see my thumbnail, Lil Hank's team is playing in a conference tournament games. It starts this Wednesday. So I will not be doing a live show on Wednesday because I will be at the playoff game on Wednesday. So I will not get to do a show. But I will be doing the show tomorrow. All right, we're going to do a show tomorrow, have fun with it, enjoy ourselves. But the normal Wednesday show I will not be getting to do. That's okay, because I'm going to make sure I bless you with a show on Tuesday. So y'all make sure y'all here 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, in the basement, rocking out with me. But tonight we're talking about sports, baby. We are talking about sports, and with that being said, we're going to talk about the lineup, different lineups between the two teams, how these teams match up, what happened in the previous game and what can possibly happen in this game. So I'm looking forward to breaking that down for you guys. But guys, with that being said, look, we got to talk about some other sports that this been occurring. So as y'all know, the Winter Olympics is going on. And with that being said, congratulations to the USA hockey team, who won their first gold medal in hockey, men's hockey, in a long time, 1980. It's a long time, guys. It's a long time. So congratulations to the men's hockey team for winning gold this year over Canada. Big win for the guys. Them young men went out there, played hard. I watched the game. That's probably the only sport I'm going to watch in the Winter Olympics is the hockey. And if it wasn't in the championship game, more likely I would have watched. I didn't watch no other game besides that one. So it was definitely fun to watch, definitely entertaining. You know what I'm saying? You got your money's worth if you watch it. I don't watch much hockey. I don't. I'm not a big hockey guy. But I knew I wanted to see that game because there was a chance we could win a gold. And like I said, we haven't won one since we won one in Platsko in 1980 against the Russians. This time we got to play the Canadians. I bet you if America had a loss, I know Trump would have raised the tariffs on them again. I'm not going to get into politics. We're not doing that over here. We talking sports. But I'm just saying, it was a great turnout. I enjoyed watching the game. Shout out to them young men who brought home the goal. Well deserved. But we had some other sports going on. Sunday, we had some boxing. Women's boxing. Clarissa Shield, undisputed, was out there defending her title. Fighting with a woman who she already fought previously and beat. Well, we still got the same result. Clarissa Shield has maintained her title like she did many times before when she defended it. And she won. So congratulations to Clarissa Shield for winning in the decision. She's a women's heavyweight champ. Shout out to the champ. Not a big boxing fan. I mean, not a women's boxing fan. I don't watch a lot of women. But I do watch, of course, I watch UFC. Some of their women's matches. I don't watch much of it, but if it's on, I'm not going to turn it off or turn away. I'm watching, check it out, see what's happening, see what's up, see what's going on. But I did take the time to watch the Clarissa Shield fight. Again, she has maintained her heavyweight title. Congratulations to her. Yes, I did. I watched that hockey match. First time, like you said, since 1980. So yes, I did watch a hockey match. I'm not a big hockey guy. I'm going to tell you right now. I'm not a hockey fan. But it has such significant meaning behind this. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we haven't won since 1980. We haven't won since 1980, guys. It's almost 50 years ago. And Canada is not, it's not an easy out. Let me say that. All right. So it was a great opponent that they faced and end up winning. So again, congratulations to them. Shout out to Canada for a good match. You got to say that. Shout out to Canada for a good match. It's like I said again. It's very entertaining. I don't watch hockey. Like I said, I don't. The last time I seen hockey, I watched hockey. I actually got to go to a hockey game. That's the Nashville the hockey team in Nashville. The what are they called? The Thunder, something. Damn, what is it? I know they got like a saber, the Predators. Is that what they call the Nashville Predators? I know they got like a saber-tooth lion or something. It looks like it reminds me of the Thundercat symbol. That's what it does. I believe that's what they're called. The team in Nashville. That was the last time I got to go. And the only reason I went doing that because they was having the SEC tournament down there. And so like I got down there like a couple days early and I think the tournament started on Tuesday. No, it started on Wednesday. I was down there on Monday, me and my buddies, and got to go to a hockey game. It was the last hockey game for the rest of last hockey home game for them. And we called it. We got to see the I think they called the Predators, the Nashville Predators. I think that's what they's called. I can't remember, but I got the opportunity to see an in-person hockey game, and I really enjoyed it. Now, it's almost like baseball to me, right? I can't watch baseball in the regular season because it's not fun, not on TV. Now, if it's the World Series or even a playoffs baseball, I will watch. But the opportunity I got to see a hockey game in person, I did like that, right? Now, did it make me want to go watch a hockey game? No, I didn't. Because it's not the same. Just like baseball for me, it's just not the same. But when I watched in person, I was really entertained, right? I enjoyed it. I had fun. They got into a couple brawls. Yeah, yes, they did. So I got my money's worth. I didn't think I would. And the tickets were pretty cheap. Now, I don't know if they're normally like that or not, or maybe because at that time, they just wasn't good, and they were just trying to sell tickets, just get some people in seats, or take advantage of the crowd that may come down there for the SEC tournament. I don't know, but got the opportunity to go, and I really enjoyed myself. And that was the last time. Actually, really paying attention to a hockey. Now, I did watch it when the Blackhawks was on their run for a couple years, winning the Stanley Cup. I watched it then. But other than that, it wasn't a lot of hockey for me. Not a big fan of hockey, but it is what it is. But the opportunity I got to watch it the other day, like I said, I enjoyed myself. I thought it was fun. It had a lot like significant value. Like I said, I haven't won since 1980. It's over 40-something years ago. Let's see, in 1980, I was 5 years old. right? I was 5 years old in 1980. So I didn't know nothing about hockey. My family wasn't hockey fans. I didn't know about anything. I do remember seeing the movie Miracle on Ice. Right, I did see that with Kurt Russell was was an ice hockey coach. Right, so I did see that, and so that's how I got my knowledge of what happened at a big event against the Russian in 1980. Now I've seen a couple documentaries like that 30 for 30. I've seen that on ESPN. But still, that was my only knowledge. I did end up getting to watch it, the hockey match. Just for historical reasons. I just wanted to see it, the actual match. Saying and I didn't realize how young them guys was, man. They was college age kids. These wasn't. They was going against some grown ass men. I mean, these were seasoned hockey players that Russian team he was going against, compared to some guys who are college age kids. These weren't NHL players yet. I mean, I know a few of them got to play in NHL, but at the time, they weren't in NHL. They was college age kids having tryouts and shit. God damn, I'm talking about, man. It was crazy, but it was an experience for me to see that, to get to watch that, and you kind of take some self pride in within you being a citizen. So I enjoyed it. I appreciate it, man. And again, shout out to them young men who end up winning and beating Canada in overtime. So congratulations to them. Congratulations to Clarissa Shield for maintaining her championship. Congratulations to them. Got to watch a couple of college basketball games. My son played at 1:00 on Saturday, so they ended up winning big. So shout out to them winning on senior night, winning their final regular season home game. Unfortunately, we didn't win. We ended up tying for the division, but unfortunately, the other team ended up getting a tiebreaker because they had the head-to-head tiebreaker. Now, one of the games we did beat them. We ended up really splitting them, but we had a forfeit because of reasons, Nonetheless, it happens. And with the split, I don't know how they would have determined if we had a split. I don't know if it, but unfortunately they got the last win against us head to head. So they end up winning even though we both end up 12-4 in a conference. They did have a better overall record, and the reason why, because we had forfeit a lot of the first semester games. If it wasn't for that, it wouldn't have been no tie. Now we wouldn't have been the number one overall seed in the conference, but we would have been a number, since they're split up into the conference of 16 teams. They're split up into two divisions of 8, and so we would have been number one in the other division. I think the northern other division, I think is what it's called. So we would have been number one there. Unfortunately, we are number 2. And if we win on Wednesday, we play the number 1 seed, Shawnee State. Now, against Shawnee State, head to head, they end up beating us. We should have won. We had them beat in the regular. Some things. Referees, whistles been blown, fouls been called, missed opportunity for us, too many turnovers didn't help us in that situation. Also, missed free throws. Now, we're a different team in that time compared to now, right? We're a different team. Again, they end up beating us in overtime, and the final score was 66-69. They ended up winning in overtime. Unfortunately, we had chances to win that game, and we just didn't take care of business. But we can't get too far ahead because they can mess around, lose. we can mess around and lose, and we won't even get to play each other. So the team we do play before is Midway. Now, we played Midway before at Midway. We end up beating them. Handled them pretty easily. And they are tough out. You know, they got some good players. But I feel like if we stay focused, stay locked in like we've been doing, we'll be fine. We're on a 7-game winning streak. I think it is. It may ended up being 8. Let me double check. It may end up being 8, but as far as I remember, I thought it was a 7-game win streak. We ended up winning 7 in a row. So we're peaking at the right time, right? This is the time you really want to peaking, doing a conference championship. You know what I'm saying? Going into it with a certain level of confidence. So that's a good thing for us. So the game is at 7:30. You guys can check it out. You hit. I'm gonna drop a thumbnail on the channel, and the thumbnail also gonna have the link so you can watch the game from your respective city or states. So my folks up north who are stuck in the house, take advantage of it. Watch it. 7:30 Eastern, 6 p.m. 6:30 Central. Well, let me pull that up. Let me pull that up and see. Yes, we are on a 7-game win streak. 12. We end up 12-4 in the conference. Like I said, tied overall. But let me go to the Midway game where we did play them. And I apologize. It was 79-74 was the finals for that Shawnee State. I'm sorry, guys. 79-74. Let's go to that Midway game. Okay, that's this game. But Midway game, we end up winning 73-69, and that was at Midway. That was at Midway, and so let's break down and look at the box score. So if you look at it, oh, you can't see it, can you? I'm sorry. You won't be looking at it. So with that being said, we're going to look at the first half stats, stuff like that. So in the game, we end up shooting in the turnover battle. We end up winning, and not by much. Not by much. I ain't gonna lie. I'm sorry, the points off turnover. Let me say that. I meant to say points off turnover. My fault. So we scored 11 points off turnovers. Second chance points, we scored 17-13. It was 11-10 in the points off turnover. The bench points, we had 19 off the bench. They had 11. Lead game by, we had total 4 lead compared to the 3. Points in the paint, we had 28 compared to 34. Fast break points, we had 3 compared to 8. Tied, score by tie, and 6 and 4 for Midway. So if we look at the box score, right? 3-pointers, we was 11 for 28. Free throws, unfortunately, that was Achilles' heel, and I hope it doesn't snake bite us in the playoffs. Free throws, we was 4 for 8. Offensive, defensive rebounding. It was a total of 37 rebounds we had. Personal fouls, we had 11. Assists, we had 17. Turnovers, we had 11. Blocks, we had 5. Steals, we had 7. Of course, y'all know what the 10-point margin was. The point margin was 73 to their 64. As far as the 3-point percentage, total was 42%. That's what we shot from the 3-point line. I'm sorry. Field goal percentage was 45. Free throw was 50. That's not good. And we got to get better at that, right? We have to definitely get better, because if not, that could be that could be bad for us. Like I said, the game was on the road. It was a great game, great results. I appreciate you. Thanks for the sub. I appreciate you. I promise you I do. Shout out to you. But as far as the breakdown of this game, looking forward to definitely check it out on Wednesday, because there's a lot of variables. The funny thing about it is, when I look at this game, I didn't realize the similarities between the two teams. Really, both have good point guards with Midway's Sam Parrish and my son Lil Hink. Point guards who can definitely lead the team, who definitely can change a game at the drop of a dime, right? Little things like that. Now, the one thing about these two teams, the roster, they didn't have a lot of size on there, right? We got a couple 6'10" guys. Well, one's 16, the other one's 6'9". But I'm saying, you got the size as far as in the middle. We got a good balance of veterans as well as young players. So that definitely makes a difference. So they got, like I said, they got a good mix. Not only that, let me look at their roster too. Let me make sure I pull up their roster as well. Shit, I'm like, what the hell? I was like, what the hell? I'm trying to pull up their roster. Let me pull up their roster right here. Apologize, guys. So, what I was just talking about with their roster, they got a good mixture of size as well. 6'3" guard, 6'5" guard, 6-foot guard. A big man. The biggest man they have is 6'10", 6'10", 230. Then the next biggest man is 6'9", 275. It's a big body, huh? That is a big body, but he wasn't really a factor in that game. I mean, I don't know. He just wasn't. He just wasn't a big factor in that game. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I don't know what to say about. He was almost right. Hmm. I, well, let me say this, because of the matchups. Because of the matchups, their starting five is really solid as far as Midway. I think they're affected when they go to that bench, right? When they go to that bench, that's when they're really affected, and you can just the fall off is big time, right? So when you look at their starting five, Sam Smith, Decorah Smith, Sam Parrish, Decorah Smith, Amari Wales, Devontae King, Marcus Washington Williams, um, a good solid starting five. But once you get past that, that's when it kind of falls off for them. It's just not there. The good thing um, about IUS's starting five compared to other teams, it's not that bad of a fall off. So like when you bring in Bailey in, he's pretty good. He could really be a starter. I ain't gonna lie. Jordan, when he comes in, he has his moments. So when you go and you play those two, there's not much of a fall off. Now the young Jordan guy, he's young, right? He's a true freshman. He's learning. He's gonna have to get stronger, of course, during the off season. Get his body right, because the college game and is different from when you played in high school, right? You could probably get away with your athleticism. You can get away with not being as strong, but in college you can't. You got to be able to hold your own, and there's gonna be times you're gonna get switched with a big man on you, and you still got to find a way to hold your own until you're able to switch back and go from there, right? And so sometimes you can get caught in the switch. You may not get to switch back till the guy gets the ball and he's doing his post. You got to still be able to hold your own. So when you got young guys like that, it kind of hurts. You get guys like Exon that are good kids, good players who can come in there and relieve you, give you some minutes, give you some breather. And so when you get guys like that doesn't have that much fall off, that's good, right? With mid, once they go to that bench, you've seen the difference, at least from what I've seen. So that's going to be a great matchup right there, just in itself. But if you look at it, right, you see it right there. Shawnee State plays against Rhea. Let's go to that. Let's go to that roster because we just recently played them. And when we did, it was, that's the thing about that team. They don't have a lot of size, right? I mean, they got some shooters. And boys can shoot, right? But they don't have a lot of size. That being said, let's go to it. So you got Shawnee State and Maria. They both play each other in the first round. I don't know what their record was against them. Let me see if I can pull them up. Let me see if I can pull them up so we can look at it. Like I said, we played them just recently. And it wasn't close as far as the game. It wasn't even close. So let's get to their basketball roster and see if they look like. And let me look at the schedule also. So they're a little bit undersized. They taking hits due to size and height. They don't have it. One thing they do have a lot of veteran players, but they just couldn't do nothing with our size. I wonder what their record was. Let me see. How did they did against Shawnee State? Oh shit! Somebody got blown the hell out. God damn! So that same team they just played. They play this coming week. They play. And they lost bad. Jesus Christ. Shawnee State beat them 99-62. Yeah, it's probably not going to be much for issue for them again. So IU Kokomo was the one who beat them. Oh, no. That's us. Yeah, we beat them bad. They barely beat IU. Really, jeez, I was pissed. They had IU Kokomo beat, and if IU Kokomo had got beat, we would have been the number 1 seed because they would have went to 11-5 instead of 12-4. We beat them bad. We beat them 85-63. Yeah, they weren't close. So our win against them is almost as bad as the other one. We beat them by 22 points. They end up beating them by 37. Jesus Christ. But that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is, man. And so that more than likely, Shawnee State will beat them, and we beat Midway. So we're going to have a rematch of a great matchup. Like I said, they end up beating us in overtime, but, man, we had them. We had them, and we shouldn't have beat them. Guys, I apologize for not taking down the thing. What was I thinking? But we should have beat them in that game, and I hated that we lost. So that will definitely be a good matchup for us. I can't wait for that game on Wednesday. You can call my son today because I know they had film study, so I'll probably give him a call sometime tomorrow. Always make sure I check on him. I checked on him Sunday. He was fine. I know Mondays, they usually off on Sunday, so he had nothing to worry about. I didn't call him today because I knew they was watching film, getting ready for the game. Tomorrow will be a walkthrough, so he won't have to go hard or nothing like that. And check on him, see how he's doing, make sure he's taking care of himself. You know what I'm saying? Make sure he's icing down, stretching, and doing what he needs to do. Big game. Just want to go home, guys. This is what we have this week. It's want to go home. Right? And so if we do win against Midway and Shawnee State do win, we have to go to Shawnee State. I believe it is on the Saturday. And you can't see it down there. Yeah, I think it's on Saturday. That's the 28th, and the 28th is on Saturday. And it's at Shawnee State. Now, let me see where Shawnee State's located. Yeah, unfortunately, I won't get to go to that game. Shawnee State, Ohio. How far is that from me? Let's see. Damn, I hate that we lost that game, man. Ugh, it burns me up. I promise you. Let me see where Shawnee State is located at. Shawnee State University in Ohio. Yeah. That's one of those games, man. I would have to stay tonight because I ain't gonna want to make that drive home. It's 190 miles. It's not too bad, but I just don't want to make that 3-hour drive. Yeah. So, guys, I'm gonna tell you now. Hopefully, because I know how they are with these playoff games, man. They be petty. Sometimes they allow you to stream it for free. Sometimes they make you pay for it because it's the playoff games. But I will, if we win tomorrow, I will be streaming the game on Saturday. I will be streaming the game on Saturday. So, guys, looking forward to it. Hopefully, we can win on Wednesday so I can get the opportunity of streaming with you guys. Y'all can make sure y'all tune in and go live with me. Stream the game. Dude, I hope I didn't have this thing on mute the whole goddamn time. Well, I am tripping tonight. That's cool. We're going to keep it going. We're going to keep it going. We're going to let this bother us. We're not going to let this bother us even if I was muted the whole goddamn time. But yes, we do have a game on Wednesday, 7:30 p.m. I will be at the game, so I will not be doing my show live on Wednesday. Like I said, I will be doing a Tuesday show, reacting to Pop the Balloon, having fun with that. Y'all know how we do. But as far as the game, I'm trying to kind of map it out. As long as we win on Wednesday, they have to go to Ohio, 3.5 hours away. Well, it's 3.5 hours for me. It's probably about 2 hours and 45 minutes for them from where they are in Indiana. So, hopefully it's an early game. Say they'll be out on the road late at night. Hopefully they do. But you never know. They might want to be a primetime game so they can have as many fans as they want there. It is what it is. But the thing about it, I watched this same team beat this team last year in the playoffs. I watch them. And it was at Shawnee State that they beat them. Now, of course, Shawnee State wasn't a favorite. They ended up playing the favorite in the championship game and ended up losing. But I know they can do it. they've been the underdog for before. And I watched them go to the NAIA playoffs. Now, of course, they lost in the first round against Henderson, Tennessee Henderson. I forgot what the name of the college. It's a college in Henderson. I don't forget what they call it, but it's in Henderson, Kentucky. It's about 2 hours, 45 minutes from here. They lost the first round. They was 16 seed, and the other team was number 1 seed. But I did watch these young boys fight. And if you, the top 2 teams, well, the 2 teams, the champs automatically go, and the runner-ups automatically go too. Now, of course, you're going to get seeded as such, but it is what it. But I watched that team last year with less talent play and beat some teams. And this team is better now. Can they pull them upsets again? I hope so. I think they can, because with this better team, like I said, they ended up 12-4 in the conference. Could have had a couple more wins in that, especially ones we lost Shawnee State in overtime. Due to the teams they had a forfeit due to some situations. So I know they have the ability to do it. And I watched them do it. As long as they could take care of the little things that they need to take care of, like shooting 33 points and not settling for threes. Make their free throws, right? Ball control, not making as many turnovers, taking care of the ball, make smart decisions. Oh, they're a dangerous team. They are a dangerous team. And guys, if you get the opportunity to watch them on Wednesday, you will see what I'm talking about. This team is good. They're good. They're young. We got 4 seniors. 3 of them really play a lot, right? They get a lot of run. But when I say they got a lot of young guys that can really step up, they do. And I know Coach Brown is going to get some more guys in there for next season, couple transfer, maybe a couple freshmen here and there, and they're going to be right back at it again. But we're not going to worry about next year. Let's keep talking about this season. And this season, they got an opportunity to make a serious run in this tournament, man. And I'm looking forward to them doing it starting on Wednesday against Midway. That's how you can show people that you're serious. That's how you can show people you're a legit team and you're a team to be reckoned with. I tell my son all the time, make them remember your name. He knows what I'm talking about. Smart basketball, do the right thing. Even if you're not scoring, there's going to be some nights that ball ain't going through the hoop for you. But there's always other things you can do to help your team win. And what is that? Well, I'll tell you. You can rebound. You can have deflections. You could create turnovers. Right? You can make assists. You know what I'm saying? One thing that should never be no excuse, and that's good attitude. Good body language. Not that bad body language. All of those things, you're in control of that. You're not in control of sometimes, most of the time, whether your shot hits or miss. Because it just won't be going down. They're good shots, you open shots, and they just ain't going down. Shots just ain't going. But what you can control, your body language, your hustle. You know what I'm saying? You playing good defense. You creating havoc. You being a menace on defense. You out there rebounding, hustling, boxing out, fighting, scratching and clawing, getting on the ground, getting to the loose balls. Things like that, you can help. You can control. You can decide. Especially if your shot's not going. Then there's other things that I need to do to help my team win. Whatever it takes. I don't care if I go 0 for 5. If I don't hit a shot, okay, fine. What else am I doing to help my team win? And that's the most important thing. Am I encouraging my teammates? Am I coaching my teammates up when I'm not in the game? If I'm seeing stuff, am I yelling it out? When I see switches, call them out. Even though it's not you being the one caught up in the switch, Call it out anyway. Help your teammates out. It's not an individual sport, it's a team sport. In order for you to win, you got to win together. Little things like that can help your team win as well. It's not always about scoring all the time. It's about doing other things to help your team win. So he knows that. I preach it to him all the time. And a good thing about this team is not the type of players where they're selfish and they're worried about, oh, well, man, he's little Hink going off. I want to get mine too. They're not like that. They're happy for each other when they do ball out. I've watched them when Lil Hink is not hitting, but he's getting his teammates the ball. He's playing defense. He's happy for the guys. They hit shots. He's happy for them. He celebrates more than the guy hit the shot. And you know what they're doing? That's uplifting that man. That's uplifting his teammates. That's building the confidence, point of confidence. And he'll tell them, keep shooting. Don't worry about it. Shake it off. Move on. Get the ball back. Little things like that, you can help your team win. The little things. And that's a lot of them forget about that. The little things. You know, some of them miss a shot, the head falls. No, you can't do that. We're going to need you on the next play. There's going to be another opportunity. And if you're going to drop your head, then you're losing your confidence. And once you lose your confidence, you no good. And then they got to pull you out the game. You be done. You got to stay in it. You got to stay locked in. I always do this to him. I always touch my head. Stay locked in. He knows what that means. He knows what that means. So, guys, I had planned on going long tonight. I just wanted to kind of talk about some of the things I need to make sure I give props to, give credit to. But before I go, I need for y'all guys to hit that like button.
Push the goddamn button.
Push the goddamn button. But another thing I wanted to do, I wanted to talk about the situation as far as the former Michigan coach. And guys, I don't know if y'all remember the coach and how they was on that guy's neck for what went down. Right? They was on his neck. They was on his neck. You see, make sure I know I downloaded it. Let me double check and pull it up, the video up, so we can. Hold on. So I got this video that I seen on social media, and definitely makes sense to me, right? Definitely makes sense. And so I definitely want to make sure we check it out. Hold on.
Sharon Moore.
So this video right here, I seen, I want to say on Facebook, a Facebook reel, I think that's what it was. Talk about the Sherrone Moore case, the former head coach of Michigan. So for you guys who haven't seen it, are been on the rock, I don't have any idea what's going on with the situation. He did go to court. He had his day in court and trying to get things established on some of the allegations that was been brought up against him. Now, I'm gonna show the video and I'm gonna definitely react to this video, and I want to see what you guys in the comments. Let me know what y'all think. That being said, let's go.
The former University of Michigan, Sherrone Moore, the former University of Michigan head football coach who was all in the news in December of 2025 after he lost his job and caught a criminal case stemming from a workplace relationship he was having with his assistant. Well, he just got some good news regarding his criminal case. And I'm not a lawyer, but I watched the hearing, so let me give you the recap on the interesting argument his attorney made and why the judge agreed with her. For context, in case you need it, this is Sherrone Moore, this is his wife, and this was his executive assistant and his mistress. According to reports, the University of Michigan had previously investigated if Sherrone and his assistant, Paige Shiver, were having a relationship, but both of them denied it at the time. And then on Monday, December 8th, Paige allegedly broke up with Sherrone, and then she and her civil attorney, a woman named Heidi Sharp, went to the school's head attorney to admit this relationship. 2 days later, Sherrone was fired for violating university policy by engaging in an inappropriate relationship with a staff member. And after he was fired, he then went to Paige's apartment and allegedly entered it illegally and threatened to harm himself. While Sherrone is there, Paige calls her attorney.
So far, so good. You know what I'm saying? We got the just. Michigan did do a investigation between this relationship, and they both was lying, being dishonest, and deceiving the university. And they told them, no, we do not have an inappropriate relationship. Okay, cool. Not the smart thing to do, Sherrone. Shamar, whatever, Moore, Paige, whatever your name is, not the smart thing to do. You know, you probably should have kind of broke it off amicably then, knowing they are snooping around, but the flesh is weak. The flesh is weak. And so they fell to the flesh. And they continued in a relationship until they didn't. Let's go.
Heidi Sharp. And then Heidi calls the police. And this is where some of the problems start.
When Mr. Moore came to the complainant's apartment, the first person that the complainant called was Heidi Sharp. Heidi Sharp then calls 911 and says a series of statements that are in my motion that she did not have personal information of and I had no basis for and are untrue. Mr. Moore had a long history of domestic violence against Shiver. Okay. Shiver herself never made those statements. She never gave that information. There is no record of any of that. There is no documentation of any of that. There is no criminal history. There's nothing to support that statement made by Heidi Sharp. There was a screenshot of messages the days that the alleged stalking occurred. It starts, can you have Dave write a statement? Okay, what is the latest you can get me out? I called him. And then on the day of the incident, it says, can you call me when you get a chance?
According to Sherrone's attorney.
So as we get here, what has occurred so far, when the supposedly harassment where he came over to her apartment and did what he's supposed to do, allegedly, instead of calling the officer or the police, she called her lawyer. Her lawyer decided she needed to call the officer. And of course, the lawyer did what some lawyers do, lie, fabricate, exaggerate. It's not cool. Especially with the choice of words that she used. And y'all heard what the lawyer said. The choice of words that she used really made this man look real bad. Said he has a history of domestic violence against, I think she's talking about against a lawyer. I think that's what she said. I could have been misheard her. But I thought it was against the lawyer. Maybe she's talking about her client. That's crazy. So now you telling the 911 officer that, and now they're on high alert because when they get a situation like that, the domestic violence, that's crazy. And y'all see what color this man is. It's brother, right? You don't think that the attorney already showed she don't mind to be a little extra, put a little extra sauce, huh? Put a little extra sauce in the pot. You don't think she do? Well, he's a black man. He's a coach at Michigan. You don't think that? And she's a beautiful white snow bunny. She's afraid of this big man, this big black man. Huh? You know she probably put a little extra sauce on it. Come on now. So now she's telling them that, doing it. So now they on high. They coming up with guns ablazing, huh? But y'all better watch out. They coming with guns ablazing. Who ready to bust some heads. Don't let them catch them on a bad day. Just say, let's keep going.
Some of the things that Heidi told police about Sharon were not 100% accurate, and she at some point presented officers a screenshot of some text messages alleging that all of them were evidence of Sharon harassing Shiver. However, when officers
supplied a screenshot of all the text messages saying he was part of the harassment case.
Show Shiver these text messages, she tells them that some of them are work-related, not harassment.
They showed her the whole screenshot, and she said, are these text messages work-related? And the answer was, yes, those are work-related. And then she was asked, are there any more text messages that you haven't given me? And the answer was no.
And so, even though the officer is now aware that not all of the communications between Sharon and Shiver were harassment, the officer still included all of them, plus the statements made by Heidi and a reference to 12 unanswered phone calls when she goes to get a judge to sign off on the arrest warrant. And in addition to all of that, and this part is key, the officer did not tell the judge that there was a work relationship between Sharon and Paige. And that,
of course, he did. He may be feeling some type of way. Right? He may be feeling sometimes. This beautiful snow bunny is with this big black man. And he doesn't like interracial relations. He doesn't like this black man is loving down this beautiful snow bunny. He's feeling some type of way. How dare this black man pull this beautiful white woman? How dare that be the case? How can she get with a man like me? A hard blue collar working man who's out here serving our community. He feeling some type of way. So you know what he gonna do? I'm gonna get one back for the home team. Yes. That means I need to exaggerate a little bit, stretch the truth. Huh? Stretch the truth just a little bit. Not to the point where it's going to raise some red flags, but just enough to let them know I'm watching you, brother. But those are not the words he used. He used them other words that we're not going to say. Let's keep going.
it's important because the appellate court in Michigan previously ruled that when considering charges of stalking, knowing the relationship between the stalker and the stalkee is important. Here's how Sharon's attorney explained the ruling from the appellate court.
In that case, there was a stalking charge and there was a trial. At trial, the evidence presented that the alleged victim was a probation agent and that the alleged defendant was a probationer. The probationer contacted his probation agent many, many, many times, to the point where the probationer said, please stop contacting me. The probation agent felt harassed. She had her stalking charges filed. At a bench trial, there was a finding of guilty. On appeal, the appellate court stated that the relationship between the probationer and the probation agent is relevant. It's relevant because what it shows is that contact between the two parties had a legitimate purpose. The contact was for the probationer to notify his probation agent of certain things. What the court said was that when looking at the reasonable person standard of whether somebody feels harassed, you have to look at whether a reasonable person in that position feels harassed, which gets us to what happened in this case.
You see where this is going? Sharon's attorney argues that since the officer never told the judge about the working relationship between Sharon and Paige, especially considering that Paige had already told the officer that some of the communications were actually work-related, that means the judge signed off on a warrant under the impression that every communication between these two was harassment.
In the facts that she presented to the magistrate.
So in other words, the judge signed that warrant under false pretenses. Yeah, you can't do that, guys. You can't do that. And shout out to his lawyer for bringing that up, presenting the evidence. Guys, I know some guys talking about going there without a lawyer. I'll be goddamn. I went to court one time without a lawyer doing a child support situation. Never again. Never again. It's not my job to try to argue it with the lawyer and the other judges and all that. No, we're not doing that. I'm gonna let my judge. That's what I paying for. And guess what? That's what Mr. Moore used them last Michigan checks for. He had to scrape up them last bit of Michigan checks in order to pay this woman to defend this brother. I know that's right. And that's what she doing. She doing a goddamn job. And a good job, might I add.
He left out the information that Sharon Moore was the boss of the complainant. The complainant was the executive assistant to Sharon Moore, who at the time was the head football coach at the University of Michigan. It matters because the communications that were presented to the magistrate were 12 alleged phone calls that were unanswered. The 12 alleged phone calls were on a work day. The complainant in this case had not taken a leave of absence. She had not left her job. It was working hours, and she was the executive assistant of Sharon Moore. The magistrate needs information to make a determination of probable cause of whether to issue an arrest warrant. That's a big deal. That's like due process at its core.
And in case you're wondering, Sharon's attorney highlights that since those 12 calls went unanswered, there is no way to confirm or deny what Sharon's intentions were with them, whether they were work-related or not. And so, based on these misrepresentations and omissions from the officer, Sharon's attorney is asking the judge for a hearing. They specifically want to question everyone involved in this to figure out what everybody knew and when, and to understand if information was intentionally left out when getting the warrant. And if it is, Sharon's attorney is ultimately asking for the charges against him to be dismissed. Now, the process.
Oh, yeah. It was intentional. I best believe it was intentional for them to leave that information out. They intentionally did it because they could make their case stronger. Look here, that police officer who was taking at them notes and things, he had ill intent. Yes. I said it earlier. He didn't understand why this big black brother got this beautiful young blonde hair, blue eyes, nobody. Why couldn't she be with a man like me? Shame on this brother for getting a beautiful woman like that. He already got one. What do he need her for? He married. He feeling some type of way. So he trying to stick it to her. He might, let me say this, he might be a Michigan State fan. And so he trying to get him back. He might have lost some money on a game that they lost. So he finding a way to get, Lord forbid, but he may be one of them Ohio fans. Huh? Say it ain't so in the state of Michigan. Say it ain't so, but it's possible. It's possible. He might be an Ohio State Buckeye guy and feeling the way, hey man, this guy just beat my team. And I'm sick of him. Ain't no way I'm gonna let this man slide. He got to go to jail, and they're gonna embarrass the program and gonna bring him down by arresting the Michigan coach. Could be. I don't know, but possibly could be. He had some malice and then mild intent. Yes, I believe that. I believe that. With that being said, let's finish the story.
Prosecutor tried to argue reasons why the judge should not grant this hearing, but honestly, none of them were really convincing. She basically said that this should be addressed at a later time. And so the judge sided with Sharon's team and agreed that a hearing is necessary.
I can only imagine that this court doesn't know what an executive assistant to a football coach does. I don't know if phone calls or messages might be exchanged all times of the night. I don't know any of that. I can only presume that if they are the executive to effectively a CEO, the range of their responsibilities, duties, communications is vast. But it's something certainly that the court should have been informed of during the swear to. I don't know why that wasn't given to the magistrate. I think the evidentiary hearing would be necessary because there's no mention of the employment context given to the relationship.
So the hearing will be held on March 2nd. And just as an FYI, if based on this hearing, the judge determines that the charges should be dismissed, the prosecutors could refile them. But we aren't there yet, so let's just see what happens at the hearing. See what happens when you cheat on your wife.
She just had to throw that last dig in her, didn't she? He just had to, look, the man's already down, man. Why you won't kick that man's teeth on the curb? That wasn't even necessary, sister. You did a great job. You found something. You reported it. You've been keeping up with the trial. Shout out to you. But was that last little dig right there, was that necessary? No, it wasn't necessary. But you felt the need to do it. Nonetheless, we're not going to keep on addressing her because she's feeling some type of way too, like that goddamn officer. I'm just saying. But nonetheless, she did a great job. She says she's been following the case. Shout out to her for doing that. Shout out to her for doing that. But in this situation, I'm just glad that he had a great lawyer who was able to argue a good point for him, talking about, some of the things was not publicly known or been expressed. I don't understand that. I don't understand that. And it's shame on the officer for holding that out and try to switch up and just pretty much just put in his spin as he felt. Now, I don't know why he did it. I don't know what was his reason behind it. I'm just glad that the judge had ruled in favor of the situation. Now, it's not completely dismissed. He still got to go back to court on, I think they said, March the 2nd to get everything worked out. Hopefully it all comes out well for the man, because at the end of the day, I don't believe that an innocent man should have to go through this. Not saying that the man's not guilty of having an inappropriate relationship. I won't never say that, because he was. And probably should have cut it off once Michigan starts snooping around asking questions. Just have to say, hey, I really enjoy being with you, but I can no longer be with you anymore because of this, and I don't want to put my job on. Now, who's to say that girl wouldn't have felt some type of way and still self-reported? Because she already showed she don't have a problem self-reporting. I don't know why she did it, but she did it already. So nobody sit there and say she wouldn't have did it again. No telling it. The situation would have happened maybe a year or so ago, because you might have still the same outcome. A loss of job, an upset guy trying to convince her not to go run off at the mouth. I don't know. All this could have happened maybe a year ago before now. But we have what we have. And so this man is going through it, man. I hate to see this brother go through it. I know he made a bad decision. And, you know, for every decision, there's a consequence, whether good or bad. Coach Moore has to deal with it. He has to. Hopefully he learns his lesson, not to cheat on your wife, not to be sleeping around with coworkers. And most companies have a rule or violations or bylaws saying you shouldn't sleep with somebody who you over or in charge of or who you have authority over. That's the reason why they have those type of rules, because of situations like this. Maybe he learned his lesson. Maybe he won't. I don't know. With that being said, I will catch you beautiful people on the next one. Right on.